You know what tomorrow is, guys?
What's that?
6 years to the day of the Cavs parade. 6 years. Today, it's
Hard to
funny.
believe.
The day out that we're having out there today is similar to the day we had 6 years ago. It's just a beautiful day.
Yeah.
There's not a cloud in the sky out there. 6 years ago, and yesterday was the Warriors' 4th parade in 8 years. I got to tell you, that's still the fact that they've won 4 and 8.
I'll tell you
Pretty.
what,
As much as I dislike them, you got to give them.
No, it's a dynasty. It's dynastic now.
They didn't
And
get
especially Curry, I give him credit because he did it before Durant, did it with Durant, did it after
You know what's
Durant.
more impressive? I think they finished as the last team in the West 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Dead
Wow.
last record. Steph
Now-
Curry was out. Klay Thompson was out.
Right,
They had
I know it
the
was all
worst
injury-based.
record. Got James Wiseman
But
with the 2nd pick in the
I'm gonna
lottery.
tell you what.
So when you consider that, what team has won 4 championships in an 8-year stretch, and one of the 4 where they didn't win, they lost a Game 7 to the Cavs. We really spoiled their dynasty
I
talk.
love it.
And another one of those years, they finished dead last.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're still in their craw for that, and I love that.
We'll always
And I
be in their
also-
craw for that.
I also think that it makes one. Here's my positive spin on that on the Warriors championship.
Yeah.
I think it makes our 2016
Yep.
title all the more
Makes it
impressive.
better.
That's a
No
team
doubt.
that somehow 5 years later, that's how good that team was. They won a championship. I mean,
Yep.
some of them, and we beat that team.
I'm
That's-
going to tell y'all this,
remarkable
man.
still.
I was watching a parade and it hit me right in my face. Not only am I willing to take LeBron back, I might take Kyrie back.
I don't need Kyrie.
Hey,
hold
listen,
on.
Kyrie
This
might
is-
be going
this
to
is-
L.A.
This is my face.
to play with
Put him going
LeBron
to the
again.
Knicks.
I am dead serious. I would take both of them
I
back.
can't take Kyrie.
Oh, I sure can.
I'll take LeBron 100%.
Because here's the thing. I watched them run that back, and I said, man,
You miss it.
I miss it, and there is nothing like bona fide superstars. But it don't even matter. What you saying with Curry and them, it don't even matter if they was down at the
Right.
bottom of the
But
barrel.
Kyrie
They're
can't
that
stay
good.
healthy anyway.
Listen, if
He
you
and Durant didn't do squat in the playoffs.
if Kyrie Irving is playing alongside Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, the Cavs are going to the Eastern Conference Finals, minimum.
Yeah, but I think that minimum, even without Kyrie, with the current team and LeBron, they could go to the Eastern Conference Final. Yeah,
I'll
definitely
take
would.
LeBron back too.
LeBron 100%.
But
6 months ago, I said I don't want LeBron on this team.
Man,
it was one of the dumbest statements I've ever made.
because you see what Tatum, you see what these dudes are capable of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's stupid to think we're gonna wait to hope that Colin Sexton is one of
Yeah,
these
yeah,
guys. No.
With
By the
Kyrie,
way, guys,
though, go ahead.
I got to go back to this day, right? Because and I didn't grow up a Cavs fan, and I didn't really have a favorite basketball team. So I adopted the Cavs when I moved here, and I was into it.
Right.
But I didn't grow up with 50 years
It was
of
still
rooting for the
exciting
team.
to be here.
But I got to tell you, every time I think about that day, I almost get tears in my eyes. It was so. I'll never forget. I went up to the top of the office building, of the county office building, on the corner of East 9th and Prospect. You know that building? It's
Yep.
like a newer building, last
Yeah.
couple of years. And I was able to get up on the roof of
Oh,
that
wow.
building. And I remember looking
So you had a
both
good
ways.
view, yeah.
Oh, both ways on East 9th. Right before the parade started, when people were still in the streets. And there was just this sea of humanity going down to the lake and going to the highway the other way as far as I could see. And you didn't see an empty space. You couldn't see the ground at all in the street because of the sea of humanity. Everybody was loving each other. It didn't matter what your background was, what your political affiliation was. We all loved each other that day. It was crazy. And when we had Channing Frye the other day, he talked about the parade took forever because you had to get the people off the streets onto the sidewalk. It was just so crowded.
To advance at 10 feet.
Right, and Cleveland, for a big city is not a big city, if you know what I
Right.
mean. And so it wasn't meant for that many people being downtown, and it was just bedlam, but the best kind of bedlam ever.
Man,
Were
first
you
of all,
downtown that day?
No, I was not. I had to work. Oh man, it's terrible. I will say this though, I cried when it happened, when they won, and then I got in my car and drove downtown like after the game was over.
Yeah, I was down
and
here.
I was out there just doing donuts in this parking lot, just screaming, doing slightly almost illegal
At
things.
midnight, the traffic was gridlock.
It was
nuts.
gridlock.
The red lights were turning green, but
Yeah.
nobody
Nobody
could
was
move
moving.
because the streets were packed
And we
with
was
cars
downtown.
and people.
People was looking for places to go, but you just didn't know where to go. And it was just crazy. And I remember remembering like, dang, these dudes, we actually won. Because I'm going to tell you what, Jay, you said you thought with everything going on that you knew they were going to win.
I did.
To me, I did not know that they were going to win until like, even the last second. It was one of the better games. It's one of the best games in the history of the NBA.
It was a good Game 7.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole time, my heart was in my chest. The block.
I thought the block was the moment where
I
they're
did
gonna
too.
win.
I
That was
did
the
too.
moment.
I did. That's where I'm
That
like,
was an
it's supposed to
amazing.
happen.
Seeing that replay recently again for the first
And
time. in a
how
while,
much distance he covered
Oh
to
my
close
God,
the
that was
shot.
crazy.
Even
Yep.
Kevin
He was
Love
possessed.
playing defense on Steph Curry ISO.
Kevin loved playing defense.
Yeah.
That's how intense that
ISO.
game was.
Mike, were you downtown for it?
I was downtown
parade?
for the parade. I was
Yeah.
down there. I was working for Fox 8 at the time, and I was dressed as Timothy Mozgov. I was wearing drywall stilts. You know what I'm talking about? Those legs that those things.
Is there
you wear to go-
photographic evidence?
There
of
it is.
this?
I did it. I was
Oh
doing
my
it for a
God.
bit, but it was immediately too packed, and I was just like toppling over and stuff, and it wasn't worth the gag. So then I had to take them off, and now I'm just carrying them because they were like $100. So I'm carrying drywall stilts with me around while dressed as just the top half of Mozgov.
Oh my God.
And I got swarmed. I mean, I was down there for a little bit. It was too packed. I went down to Becky's bar and finished it down there while dressed as Mozgov and with some friends, and that was hard. But I was in it. But more important for me was the night of, which was June 19th.
Yeah.
And it was
Father's Day.
Father's Day, my dad's birthday. And so it was like a big already like so that's a very easy day to remember. And I remember being down there, and I was a Cavs fan my whole life. I was at Richfield. I was at the shot. I was actually at that game as a child.
Wow.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wow.
So
Gosh.
for me, this was a big deal. You know, and I know a lot of people are like, won't be a championship until it's the Browns.
Well, you're a
or
bigger
the
Cavs
Indians or
fan
Giants.
than anything,
I'm a
aren't
big
you?
Cavs fan. I know I'm still a bigger Browns fan,
Are you?
but I know the Cavs more. I like the Cavs more. I have more of a history with them. You know, I like basketball and stuff. But so this was a huge deal to me when it actually happened. And I remembered the vibe downtown the night that we won, and it was that where you're talking about people coming together from different walks of life.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the scene in Major League when they actually win and they show that bar and it's construction workers hugging like 80s Mohawk punks, and then they look at each other like, we're different, we shouldn't get along, and they're like, well, whatever, it's, we won.
Yeah.
But it was a legitimate
was
vibe
real.
like that. And one of my favorite things that I saw was it was like a no holds barred. Nobody was policing anything that night. There were plenty of cops down there, but people are just drinking like it's New Orleans outside downtown. And everybody's kind of looking around like, are we going to get in trouble for this? You know, but nobody cared. But my favorite thing that I saw was there was a fire truck down there by the Hairy Buffalo in case something happened, I guess, or something, because they were expecting crowds. So, downtown swarmed, and I look up and there are like two like incredibly over-the-top gay dudes on the fire truck with like drinks, just going, "Oh yeah, Cavaliers, we did it, we did it, Cavaliers."
That's awesome.
And there's two cops who are on horses. They're the horse cops, and I see one of them. They just look up and they're like, "Hey, yeah, go ahead," and they just let him go.
Yeah.
That night, even the cops were just like, "Just have fun in the fire truck, be safe." The Cavs won, But that was the vibe downtown. Just like everybody was on the same team.
You're right about everybody getting along, everybody hugging, high-fiving. There were no political lines. There were no race lines. Cops were hugging people.
Yeah.
that you never see that.
I saw a cop with a beer.
But
That was the best.
That is the best. But I think, honestly, the thing that really stands out for me, how proud I was of our city, because it had been over 50 years. We expected that they were going to burn the city down.
Yeah, no, nothing.
And we didn't. And I've always wondered, like, when Detroit won in '84, they burned the city down, and I'm just like, gosh,
Weird way to say thanks.
that's shit you do when you're mad.
Yeah.
Like, when you're happy, you don't burn things down. And I was super glad that we didn't burn things down, because if anybody had a reason to like go over the top with the
Right.
celebration, I didn't see anybody hanging from streetlights 20
Right.
feet high. You see that in Philly. I saw a guy, climb a streetlight, was 20 feet above the street, hanging there perilously. I didn't see anything that really was super dangerous.
I always look at it like this: that the Warriors today should have been the Cavs. You think go from 2016, 2017, you go back to the finals, and then after that year, Kyrie's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cavs, there's no way they could have planned for being like, hey, Kyrie's gonna want to get traded.
Right.
And you look what happened to the Warriors, their trajectory, they came down a little bit, went back up, they got 4 out of 8. But you can't tell me, and Kyrie spoke to it a couple of weeks ago.
I know, it's so annoying hearing it.
You can't tell me that the Cavs don't at least got 3 championships if LeBron, the way he's still playing with Kyrie, is
to be
crazy.
at the whims of Kyrie Irving's like brain and philosophy, where he said it since then in that interview. He's like, yeah, maybe I was a little out of line then. It would have been cool to stick around.
He drops it
to
so
us, that would have
casually.
meant everything in the
Doesn't do it.
world.
Yeah.
But to him, he's at that time, he's just like, maybe I'm not appreciated and I want to go somewhere else. And now later on, he's just like, you know what, that wasn't so bad. Maybe. And I'm like, you son of, all you got to do is stay sane for a few more years.
You know what's really going to be hard to watch is if they team up again in LA, because I think that's coming.
They'll fall apart.
I think it's coming.
Between injuries or
Even
another
if-
COVID strain
Mike,
that he won't get
even if they don't
inoculated
win
against, they'll fall apart.
It really stinks because Kyrie now is saying, yeah, I can play with LeBron again. Like,
Yeah,
what was
He's
wrong
saying
with
that
what
now,
was going
but
on
I don't
here?
know if I totally buy that.
Yeah.
I think he's just talking.
Well, so he had a real I think it was yesterday, a real cryptic tweet where
What?
Yeah, I know. Imagine Kyrie
Speaking-
doing that. But the talk is that the Nets were he's not interested in the Nets extension.
Right.
And so now he's got 1 year left on his current deal. So there's talk of just trading him. And the three teams that are really coming up, the Knicks, which have no chance.
Right.
First of all, they'd have to dump half their team to be able to fit him in.
Right.
And why would he want to go to the Knicks?
Right.
But the Clippers and the Lakers are very interested. And when I saw the Lakers, I thought, uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah.